Has a transaction ever required you to retrieve a non-U.S. document to be legalized for use in another country? Hi, I'm Karen Redman. I'm with COGENCY Global, and I'm here to talk to you about international document legalizations. With documents issued from a public authority, such as a corporate registry certificate of good standing, a court judgment, or a notarial attestation, the first step is to confirm whether the originating country, the country in which the documents were issued, and the receiving country, the country in which the documents are going to be used, are members of the Hague Apostille Convention. If they are, the competent authority, now in the U.S. the competent authority would be the Secretary of State, but the convention website has the competent authorities listed for all countries, will affix an apostille stamp, and that will be cleared for use in the receiving country. If at least one of the countries is not a member of the Hague Apostille Convention, then the document must go through the legalization process, also known as the chain authentication method. For example, a power of attorney in Germany for use in China must first go through the district court in which the notary is registered in Germany, followed by the Federal Office Administration, which is the equivalent to the U.S. Department of State, and last step would be the Chinese Embassy. Each agency verifies the signature of the prior legalization. As you embark on the legalization process, keep these 5 pointers in mind. Number 1, just because a country's consulate in a U.S. jurisdiction has certain legalization requirements does not mean that that same country's consulate in a different jurisdiction will have the same requirements. Always check with the consulate. Secondly, in some countries, a translation may be required. That translated document may have to go through the entire legalization process. Number 3, consulates will have different supporting document requirements, such as a passport copy or an officer's certificate. Always check with the consulate. Number 4, some consulates require extra steps. For example, in the Middle Eastern countries, you may have to get a seal from the Arab Chamber of Commerce before going to the receiving country's consulate. Also, for the British Overseas Territories, you may be required to take the extra step of having to go to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in London before going to the receiving country's consulate. Lastly, number 5, in some civil law countries, the notary's signature and seal may need to be court certified. So the overarching theme with these 5 points to remember is that you will always need to check with the receiving country's consulates for the requirements. Once again, my name is Karen Redman. If you have any questions or require any additional information, please visit www.cogencyglobal.com.